Carl Higbie is a former Navy SEAL, author of Enemies, Foreign and Domestic, A SEAL's Story. Great to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so tough talk from our ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, talking about the fact that Iran is doing all kinds of things, coalescing with Hezbollah, destabilizing the Middle East, advancing that violence and disruption beyond. It wasn't well received by a lot of folks at the UN.
No, well, the UN, I think, is rendering itself obsolete by this. I mean, they're basically saying that the U.S. is playing a propaganda battle to involve them in the help for terrorism. Look, when I was in Iraq in 2007, one of our primary missions was to stop Iranian influence, Iranian bombs, Iranian influence, Iranian intelligence, arms, everything like that. I mean, I had friends killed with bombs that we traced back to Iran. So if they can stand up there and say this, it's fundamentally false, and this is the problem. We need to put them in check.
Well, the Secretary of State, Tillerson, did have to say, listen, technically they are in compliance with this deal. Now, he and the president are saying we don't think they're abiding by the spirit of it. Right. So then we get this tweet now from Iran's foreign minister saying, we'll see if U.S. prepared to live up to the letter of the deal, let alone spirit. So far, it has defied both. Should I use my highlighter again? Putting it right back on us that we're the ones who are not living up to this deal, which the whole goal was to make sure we have a non-nuclear capable Iran.
Yeah, that's all. Well, look, we gave them back tons of money, billions of dollars.
Untraceable.
Yeah, untraceable. A lot of it on pallets of cash and things like that. But the issue here is that they are still going forward with their support for terrorism. They're still going forward with their nuclear program. A lot of their test sites, too, according to the agreement, allows them to self-inspect and then just report to the UN. So are they complying? According to them, they are, but I'd actually want to send somebody in there and find out.
Now, how much are they a problem when it comes to all the other hotspots that we have? Syria, North Korea, Russia's involvement. I mean, Iran seems to be a common thread through all of our biggest foreign policy challenges.
Iran is one of the greatest problems in the Middle East because it is probably the most stable government in the area, outside of maybe Jordan and places like that. But they have such a network of supplies, revenue, organization, and they back places like Hezbollah and things like. They'll back them to say that terrorism's okay, and then people find refuge in that, and then they go to commit further terrorist acts. So, yeah, they're a huge problem.
What do you make of Secretary Mattis, General Mattis's trip now through the region? He spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel, obviously at his side. Some interesting language from Netanyahu saying that there's been a great change in the direction of American policy. It's a great change. It's welcome. And it completely upends what the previous administration was doing. He sounds relieved.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had 8 years of Obama's limp-wristed foreign policy that basically allowed terrorism to spread. Anybody in the Middle East could do whatever they want, and they pushed Israel around. I mean, they're a very small country in the area, ironically, our only hard ally. So now President Trump is really committed to Israel. I mean, they were at the White House the other day, and they had a great talk. And it is shown that we are willing to step up to the plate and say, you're our ally, we're going to back you, and it's time to put guys like Assad in check, put ISIS in check, and I think we're doing that.
Okay, so the review of the Iran deal continues within the Trump administration. Where do you see that going? I mean, do we pull out at some point? Do we say that they're not in compliance? Where does it go?
I think, I mean, President Trump did say on the campaign that he was going to tear up the Iran deal and start fresh. I think it's time for that. I think it's time that we go in there, and the self-inspection stuff has got to stop, because I think that is a fundamental area where they can act compliant but not actually be. And if Iran gets nuclear weapons, rest assured, one will lead to a terrorist attack.
All right, Carl Higbie, thank you for your service and for being here today. Good to see you. Bill.